Hello everyone, I'm back here today for a new stream, organic modeling for jewelry design. So I've been checking that everything is working fine. Let me know if my voice is sounding good, the music is not too loud, and everything is okay on your side. So let's select this. So for today, I'm going to follow and hope to finish this design I started 2 streams before. On the previous stream, I was making the stone setting. We were talking about the stone settings, the how to make the holes, the prongs, how to make the stone placement using my custom workflow with an insert brush and the nanomesh, a combination of both processes. You can review the previous stream in case you miss it. And today I'm going to work on the back side, and I have in mind to try to go as far as possible, and at least to get it finished at the end of the stream. So I hope we will get enough time to complete this design. So anyway, you have any question not related what I am doing at the moment, so about the previous streams or any other question about the streaming, just leave your comments or leave your question on the chats, and I will try to pay attention and to try to answer all your questions. I have seen that there is one question about UV mapping. I'm sorry, but I haven't got any experience about UV mapping, at least because you are talking about an external software. So you are exporting the UV maps and you are trying to export them back into ZBrush, that you have any kind of issue. But I'm sorry, but I think I'm not going to be able to answer you. But as one user is saying, maybe it's an issue related to the orientation. Just flip them, try to flip them, and let's see that they work. Okay, you are saying that my voice is good. Yeah, my headphones are good headphones. I like them too. Okay, hello, my friend. I will try that. Okay. You are asking that what pen display I am using. I am using the all 22 inches Wacom. So you know that it was changed by it is now it's already 24 inches. I am using the all device with 22 inches. But that is not available anymore. It's but it already has 2 years. I bought it maybe 2 years ago. Okay, so let's go. Okay, let's go. So I have seen that many of you were asking about the plugins that I was using during my streams, the plugin that I use to control the measurements inside of ZBrush when I'm making jewelry designs. I was talking about 2 external plugins. One of them is IMM Draw Size. Is the plugin that I use for control, for example, in this case, the section or diameter of the measurements for the holes and for the prongs. This is the plugin that I use, IMM Draw Size, and I use another external plugin which is very useful, which is Precision Extract, both of them. You can find them inside of the Pixologic website. I'm gonna give you here the address. You need to go here to support, documentation. No, I'm sorry, it's not here. It's inside of support resources, right? You need to go to ZBrush plugins, and first you will find the official plugins, and scrolling down you will find this section. The plugins listed below are not included by default in installation. Okay, but here you will find a ring utility. It's another external plugin that I use to set up the ring size. It's a time saver. And IMN draw size. You will get them here. IMN draw size and the precision extract plugin. As easy as click on download and place them on your ZBrush folder, and that's it. So IMN draw size and precision extract. Okay, let's go and start sculpting. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so I have been making some improvements on the wing I was making on the previous stream, just trying to add more details on this upper part, to trying to refine the forms and clean the shapes, and trying to add a little bit more details on the feathers here. I was also adjusting a little bit better the prongs to the stones. I made 3 different folders where I have because I'm gonna split the design into 3 pieces. The heart itself, the central part, I'm gonna split the torch, the upper part here, and I'm gonna split the wings. So I'm gonna make now the assembling part of the process to try to be able to print, cast, and finish each part individually to be able to get better result on the polishing part. Okay, so I'm gonna work today mainly on the central part. So I'm gonna hide the torch and the wings. So I'm gonna open here the heart. I'm not going to use the loop yet. I'm gonna hide this subtool, and I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna hide this. This is the internal section. Okay. So I'm gonna create this Boolean where I'm here. I'm gonna check this out first. No, this. Okay. One thing that I used to do when I used a cube or any other primitive for create the Boolean, I prefer to don't keep a big contrast between the different topologies. For example, here on the heart, you can see here the polygons here have 285,000 polygons, on the back cube that I'm gonna use for cut the back part is it is still a very low resolution mesh, so I'm gonna change the topology first before make any Boolean operations. So one process that I use here is instead of going forward to the series measure and click on the series measure here, so you will get this kind of topology. It's not very well organized. What I do is first click on group by normals. So here I have a different polygroup for each side, and now I set up the data size to 0 to try to get as more quads as possible, and to turn on the keep groups button. Now I can change the topology. Now I have a better, cleaner topology. So I'm gonna click on double to try to get more polygons. Click it again. Yeah, it's gonna be enough, I think. Okay, now let's click on the gear here and let's create the Boolean folder. And this is what I get. I have the external shell of the heart, but as I mentioned on previous stream, what I'm gonna do is to try to create the backside as a backplate. So like I don't know, but I found many different ways to call this part in jewelry. Many people call it a gallery, is where you are putting a piece, a metal piece on the back, but it is not flat. I'm sorry, it's not solid. It has, like on the front, a kind of an open work, open spaces to try to make the weight lighter instead of just to put a door or a backplate, a solid backplate. And let's see how I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna use this hurt now. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna turn this on, turn this off. I'm gonna use this again to create a Boolean. So let's create a Boolean folder. Now I have two pieces. I have this and this. And I'm going to use this for create the backplate. So as we have here a different poly group, you can see the colors on the green. I'm gonna make a duplicate, just a backup from of the original. So Control Shift and I select this, and instead of delete hidden now, and let's create a new topology first. So let's adapt the site to 0, keep groups. Let's try to have the same amount of polygons. Okay, abort. Yeah, technical problems. Was my fault. Let's load it again. Let's repeat it, the same operations like Boolean. So was my fault to touch the keyboard. So let's hide this and this. Let's turn this on. Let's skip this. Let's turn this off. And select this. Let's make the Boolean again. No. Well, I forgot to create a new topology. Group by normals. Series measure. Let's click on double. Keep groups. Series measure. Now we can do it. Let's save this first. Hello everyone. Hi Fexter. And Boolean folder. No. Let's create the Boolean folder now. Oh, something is going on. What is happening? Now, yes. I forgot to turn on the eyeball. So let's repeat another operation. Let's turn this on, turn this off. And before do anything, I'm gonna adjust this better till the border, and now I can do the Boolean operation. Boolean folder. I forgot before to turn the symmetry before clicking on the series measure. So let's try to keep the group, retain the groups. I'm gonna adapt the size to 0. Let's try to have the same amount of polygons. Now we can do the series measure. So leave your questions. You have any on the comments? I have strange things are happening here. Let's say I'm gonna convert this into Dynamesh first. No, too many polygons. Let's reduce this resolution. Okay, now let's polish a little bit. And now we can do the sphere measure again. My UI, yeah, I can share my UI, but I think that is not very interesting. Okay, anyway, I will share it with you if you want. It hasn't anything special, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna try to polishing polygroups again. Let's correct a new topology to try to get a better border. You can see I start getting a good flow out. So I'm gonna make a new zero measure again. Okay, I think this one should work. So I'm gonna duplicate this one and I'm gonna use this just as the backplate. But the normal way of do this is just not my invention. Is I have seen many designs in jewelry where you have instead of it's a matter of weight saving and time saving, because if you do this, the people who is gonna weld the back part to the heart would need to make the soldering line or the welding all the way around the contour of the heart. But it's much better, instead of make this, I found it much more useful. The finishing looks nicer. I think this is my personal opinion, but looks much nicer. Is to make more something like start making small windows like this. So we will get this space open. This space is going to be open as well. This space is going to be open, and here we're going to have this piece, this part, and this part, and you are only going to need less soldering points. You're going to laser here, here, and here, and you're going to have a safe and well finishing on the back side. So let's do this. So what I do is Control Shift here and shrink, maybe like this 2 times, and once we are happy with the results, we can delete hidden, and now I can adjust a little bit better the contour to the border. To know how far we are making this little window, we can go to the move, turn this off, and start taking measurements with the transpose line. So from this point to this point, we are making a 0.6 millimeter window. This is going to be a little bit small because maybe we can have problems on the casting, or not on the casting, maybe on the finished piece is not going to look nice, because maybe, my opinion, the spaces, they are going to be too small, even like a imperfection instead of the finishing we are looking for. So let's make it bigger like this. You can see that I am just doing this by hand or with my, I don't know how to say the expression in English, with the eye. Just don't take in measurement. Don't take in precise measurements. So maybe here we have 0.6, and maybe here we have 0.63. Here we have 0.61. But the overall result looks like the offset between the two lines it's the same, because let's check this again. From this point to this point, we are start getting 0.7 millimeter window, 0.778, almost 0.8 millimeter. It's becoming good, I think. It's just watching to catch the way how to use the program. Thank you for being here watching me. So I'm using the program. Maybe it's a different way that other users have. Well, it's the same program. All of them are using the same way, but the way that I'm using the program, I'm thinking to use the program is to when you are creating your designs, maybe the way of working it's a big different, because during the process you are more worried about the measurements or about the proportions. You have in mind the printing process, the casting process. Maybe the way of working is a bit different than at the sculpting session, when you are just worried about the form, shapes, composition, and another things. But this is maybe a different way of working. So the wall, the thickness that we have here, this is 0.7. From this point to this point, 0.7. The thickness, I mean the thickness here, the same. Here we have 0.7. We are below 0.8 millimeter. So the talking about the thickness of the backplate, maybe it could be around 0.65 or maybe 0.6 millimeter. It's not going to be necessary to make it too thick. So the way I do this is if I'm looking for to extrude it, not to the back. So if we are talking about the side view, I'm not looking for to extrude the surface from left to right. From this view, I'm looking for from right to left. So we can use the C modeler to make the extrusion, or we can make a very cool feature that I use many times. It was included maybe on the latest version, I think. You will find it here inside of Dynamics. Inside of the dynamic subdivision section. Yeah, the name of the program. So the name of the program, you can watch it here on the name of the channel. If you are okay, you are watching maybe you are, yeah, you are watching the stream through Twitch. So the name of the program is ZBrush. You will find it here, Pixologic.com, and you will find this great tool. Okay, so I was talking before about the dynamic subdiv. So you need to turn on the dynamic. I don't want any kind of smoothing, so I set up the smoothing to 0. You can see if you got it to 2, as it is by default. As you are smoothing the mesh, you are shrinking it a bit. If you set this to 0, it remains as the original forms. So now is the time to add thickness. So if I start playing with this slider, we start adding thickness. You can see you start adding thickness, and you can see the thickness it's going. It's taking the same amount from one side than the other side. So as I said before, I'm looking for just make a extrusion to the internal part of the heart. So what I do is, instead of leave the offset in 0 and set to minus like this, minus 100, and I have the extrusion to the left, in this case, to the internal part. So now I have a piece of geometry with thickness as solid. So at this point, I don't care about the thickness. I don't care about the measurement. So because once you are happy with the thickness, with the direction of extrusion, you apply the dynamic subdivision to the mesh, and now I can go to the scale master and read the thickness that we are currently having. So let's click the scene. We are working on millimeters, and I am working. This is made by my eye, and I almost nail it because it is It's 0.64 millimeter. It's Yeah, it's fine, but I'm gonna set it up to the exact 0.6 millimeter. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna type in here 0.6 and resize, and I have a piece of 0.6 millimeter. Sambora Julie is asking, do you personally think ZBrush has way too many ways of doing extrusion? Yeah, yeah, it has many ways to do the same thing or almost the same thing because depending on what we need to do, maybe one process is better than the other, depending. I think it's a good point to have many ways to do the same thing because you can do it with the C modeler. I found that adding extrusion with the dynamic subdiv is very useful because I can control the direction of the extrusion. When we are making jewelry, it's going to be very, very useful, or any 3D printing product or I don't know, or design. It's very useful. Yeah, IJ is asking, will this stream by save it for replay? Yeah, of course. You will find it inside of the Pixologic channel and on the YouTube channel from Pixologic. You can review it as many times you want. So now we have 2.6 millimeter piece of geometry, and now I'm gonna change the topology. I'm gonna add more. I'm gonna crease the edges, crease the polygroups. I'm gonna subdivide it maybe 2 times, and I'm gonna get to zero measure with the same amount, keeping the groups, very important. There you go. And now I'm gonna start drawing the gallery, or I don't know the exact name. This is the open work, the grid with the different filling greens. So to do this, I'm gonna hide this polygroup, the front, Control Shift, all of this surface. I'm gonna start shrinking the mesh. You will find this button here. Preview, I guess. No, it's the side of visibility. Here you will find the shrink and grow buttons. I already have got it here on my custom interface. I start shrinking, and I'm gonna control tap on the canvas to create a mask. And now I have here an offset. The offset here I have, this is 0.9 millimeter. I think that's gonna be okay. Needs to be refined, so I'm gonna use a mask focal shift to -100 to get better defined mask. I'm gonna use the lazy mouse. This turn off, lazy mouse to 0. I'm gonna turn start drawing. Like this. And I think now what we are having is the darker part, the mask part. It's going to be the open space. So I need to remove or erase the existing mask with Control Alt, and let's see what one we can draw. Let's see, maybe something like this. I am using now my brush size is 128, and with this value, I am making a thickness of 0.9 millimeter. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe I can set this instead of one, let's say 125 to make it thinner. 1 point is still 0.9, maybe 120. Oh, I don't know. I was reading the wrong value. See, I am using 4.4 draw size, and now I can control out a little bit smaller, something like this. This is going to be around 0.6 millimeter. Okay, let's say a little bit bigger. 3.5. My stroke now is around 0.8 millimeter. I'm always saying it's a round off because you can set the precision that you can find on a CAD software. It's completely different than the precision you can find here. But even that it's a different precision, it's 100% useful, I think. You don't, let's say 3.5. The only thing is the way of working it's different, but the precision is almost the same. Okay, how do you tell millimeters from the stroke brush thickness? The way that you can read, how to pronounce read? To read, okay, it's read. You want to read millimeter here, you should go first to your scale master and set the scene scale. So you are telling to ZBrush that you are gonna work in millimeters. So all the measurements that you can take, you will see here the value of millimeters. So with the transpose line, remember that you can find the transpose line where you have this button turn it off, or using the Y from your keyboard, you can turn this on and turn this off. So you can start taking measurements with the transpose line. So when you are taking measurements with the transpose line, don't forget to keep the shift key pressed while you are dragging the line. So from left to right, from this point to this point, so you are getting here 0.8 millimeter stroke thickness in this case. So I'm gonna follow working, let's say here. Keep in mind that we are here making, this is going to be the solid material, and the dark area, it's going to be the open space. So this part should be welded here, touching points, and this part maybe as well. I don't like this one. Maybe if we, let's correct the lacy mode a little bit shorter to make faster strokes, maybe like this, with a thicker ending. Yeah, maybe more like this. Yes, thank you very much. And thanks to be here watching me from Turkey. Your pose is so beautiful and calming. Yeah, calming. Glad to read that. No problem. My English is maybe is as bad as yours. I try to do my best, so I think it's not very complicated my way to speak to understand my English. So let's follow, for example, Control Alt, and we can use this. Maybe I'm gonna try to make more something like this. to make better. Maybe something like this. And let's make this. For example, let's make this. Trying to get a nice scroll pattern. Maybe we make a unions here. You need to keep in mind that trying to make because we are making a 0.6 millimeter plate, it's gonna be very thin. So if you leave floating pieces, they are going to be very easy to break. So I'm gonna try to make it as stronger as possible. And for example, here it will be better to join this with this to try to don't leave this part floating. I don't know what I made, but I remove everything. Let's make a bridge here. No, maybe we can use the same thing as on the front. Maybe we can try to make a lock here. Yeah, looks nice. As the previous question where when you were asking about the thickness of my stroke, don't forget that you are making this. Don't forget to set the focal shift to -100 to get a better, a more precise measurement. Because if you leave it at the default value, it is 0. You can see here you will get the blurred edges. So you are gonna be making smaller strokes as you measure before. So don't forget to set up the focal shift to -100 while you keep the Control key press, because you are applying this value to the mask and not to the brush, to the sculpting brush. So I think like this going to be enough. So let's go now to what I do before making an extraction, because I'm going to use this feature, extract. Before making any extraction, I go to my masking menu and I start sharpening the mask. So sharpening many times. And now I'm gonna extract the, well, before I extract anything, I'm gonna refine. Because it's so important, this distance than this distance. We not only to be worried about what we are painting, but we need to be worried about the spaces we are living. So let me check this. My keyboard today. Now here are 0.5. This is maybe it's very small. So I'm gonna fix this. Gonna fix this. I'm gonna make it a little bit, the opening a little bit. Let me check any other critical points. Maybe this point could be too thin. So let's make it like this. And I think it's gonna be enough. This point is going to be too thick to. No, will be better to remove from this point and add material here. Yes. Now it's time to extract. Extract, accept. So this is what we get. So remove the mask and to start cleaning the border surface. I use the polish by feature with the dot open. Start polishing, polishing, and polishing. And this is what we get. Let's make it a little bit thicker because we are going to use this as a negative like this to make the open work. This is the open work that we have. Okay, if we are still not sure about the thicknesses, for example here we are around 0.4 millimeter. Well, this is going to be too thin. This is the reason why I love the live booleans, because I'm going to use the move infinitive to be able to move the both sides at the same time, and I'm gonna turn the topological way of working because you can see that they are different islands. So if I leave this non-active, I'm gonna be able to move the two islands at the same time, and I want to just move one. So click this, turn this on, and now I can start adjusting things, trying to keep in the right mesh thicknesses, or even try, for example, to refine the curves, because before we were painting the lines with the mask, but we don't need to be obsessed with the precision of the lines or with the how exact they are, because we can do this after. We can start using the live booleans and start making the necessary adjustments to get better results or a nicer finishing. And this is very important to use this brush, the Move Infinity brush, instead of any of the others move brushes that you have available. Now I'm going to use the AccuCurve here to start to make sharp edges. And that's it. You are asking things. Is there a way to use Bezier curves to draw a mask? No. As far as I know, it's not possible. It's not possible. Bezier curves is more related to other softwares, I think. As far as I know, it's not possible to use Bezier curves inside of ZBrush. Drawing such complicated patterns just by round brush, well, it could looks hard. What you can do, if you want to use Bezier curves, what you can use is you can create your pattern with Photoshop or with Illustrator or CorelDRAW or even in your CAD software, and you can make your pattern with the black lines, and you can import it as an alpha, and you can convert the alpha into a mask, and you can translate the pattern into the surface directly with the mask. This is another way of do this. I made it by hand. This is just invented, but you can do this process. Where is the topological button in the common UI? You will find it inside of the brush menu, of course. I had lost it here, and let me think where it is. Inside a curve. No, this should be samples. No, that. No. This is the problem to have a custom UI. You forget where the original buttons are. So auto masking, maybe, yeah. Inside of brush, auto masking, and you will find here the topological button. It's a feature that I'll use many times. It's very useful when you are creating jewelry with ZBrush. Uh, you are asking if I have planned doing any critic sessions like Thomas. Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not good at making critics, or maybe in the future I can try. But as it is, he is already doing this. I I prefer to be on a different place. So trying to make different things, or if it's that could be an idea for future streams. So put the cursor on the top of button and hold the control key. Yeah, it shows the path. Yeah, really, yes, it shows the path. Yes, button path, browse, auto masking, topological. I'm an old-fashioned, old school ZBrush user. I forgot this. That you have the explanation about what the button does, and also you have the path to find the button path. This is very useful. Thanks for the reminder. Thanks a lot. Thomas talks a lot. Yeah, it's good to talk because he tries to explain everything. I used to talk a lot during my stream because I try to explain everything what I am doing at each step that I am taking. I am always explaining. I go here, I grab this, I make this, and because this is the reason. This is my as a teacher, because this is what I have my this is the way that I have to explain things. Arturo Martinez saying here says okay, you never stop to see brushing. You need to be practicing all the time. As more you practice, you will be better. Yeah, I try to be a good teacher, but it's not the way just to show to other people what you are doing, but at the same time, it's good to explain why you are doing the things you are currently doing. I try to explain, trying to explain myself as best as I can, or trying to tell you the reason why I'm doing this, or where you will find this tool, or this, or why is the reason why of one process or another process. Okay, maybe it's time to finish. Yeah, keep it practicing. Shahim is asking, how did you improve your anatomy skill? I think this is the anatomy is not it's not my strength, I think. I like anatomy. I prefer the animal anatomy than the human anatomy. I'm more interested on sculpting animals than humans. But I think the key, this is just my opinion, is to be a good observer. If you have the ability to recognize what is right and what is wrong, it's not is in this case it's not just a matter to studying anything. Maybe you can observe something, and if you understand what you are watching, you can translate what you are watching into your work, I think. So what I do is to be good as in anatomy. What I do is just copying things or to trying to observe or to understand the things that I am watching because I didn't study any anatomy and I don't want to. If I need to, for example, to when I need to create an animal on a pendant on a lion face or whatever, translate it into a jewelry piece. What I do is recollect or to gather as more information as possible. And when I start sculpting, I try to copy what I am watching. So I don't make things by memory most of the time. So I think this is done. I'm gonna create a new folder for the second stage of the process. I'm gonna create a new folder here. I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna create. This is gonna be the hearth 2. Hearth part 2. I heart. This is without the H. Heart part. Okay. So doing everything inside, and now I'm gonna create the new. I'm gonna use this folder for the second part of the process. So what I need now is to start connecting, making the bridges between the backplate and into this part, into the main heart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create I'm gonna use a sphere. And before convert the sphere into a polymesh, I'm going to go to the initialize settings. I'm gonna transform the full sphere into a half sphere using the coverage 180 degrees. This is half of a sphere, and now I'm gonna convert it into a polymesh. Make a polymesh. So now I'm gonna mask this part. I'm gonna extrude this part. I'm gonna use this as but not that long. So let's check this like this. Yeah, I'm gonna convert this into an insert mesh. This is gonna be the right position. Brush, create insert mesh. I want to create a new brush. Okay, I can come back to my heart again. So I'm gonna start creating the bridges. The bridges should go here, like this. And how thick they must be. So I can go to the plugin I was talking before. IMM draw size. I'm gonna create a 0.8 millimeters. Click here. Control. Remember that when you are using this plugin, you are setting the brush size, the draw size, the brush size to the exact millimeter value you set here. So then when you start dragging the mesh, when you press the control key, you are blocking the size of the mesh to the draw size, so you are getting the right millimeter measure. Is there a way to insert IMM on a point exactly? On a point exactly. Could be tell me a real situation about what you need that, because when you are inserting things, you are using the nearest vertex. You are looking for to put something into an exact, precise location. I don't know what could be a real example, but I don't know. Control, and now I am having 0.8 millimeter. Okay, here, but the thickness what I have here is not 0.8, it's a little bit less. So maybe we can do it by 1. Yeah, here more 1.1. I am Rosa cannot be set. Okay. And thing like this is going to be set. Now here I have 0.8 millimeter. Okay, perfect. So now I'm gonna start using the. I'm gonna, for example, let's put one here. Split mask points. Now I have the. I'm gonna. No, instead of do this, I'm going to use the polygroups. So group by normals, and now I can make an extrusion of this face using the C modeler with the QMS with polygroup all to add more thickness here to start to get more something like this, because we need to go, we can go depth 0.8, 0.5, we need to go more till here 0.7, a little bit, let's go further. Okay, it's gonna be enough. So now we can start making the placement. They are a bit short. We can, let's use the mask this to try to make it longer like this. And now this is what we are doing. We're here we are. This is the plate. Okay, no, this is the plate. This is the plate. So it's this subtool should be underneath, like here. And now this is what we are doing, and underneath the hurt as well. This is the what we are doing, and we have a problem here. It's not thick enough. The thing could be, maybe we can make it, we can squeeze it a bit, and here. Okay, so this is what we are doing. This is true. This sounds professional to me, to my whip. Try to insert a cube 5mm on a vertex that it's in the center of a plane. When I do that, the center is where I drag it from, not the vertex. Yeah. You are asking where I see 0.5, 0.57. I didn't see. Don't left. You can see it here. For example, if you take a measurement. For example, I'm gonna take this measurement now. I'm gonna from this point to this point. I'm gonna take this measurement. What you need to do is to go into with your transpose line from this point to this point, and here on the top left corner, here you will read the value. Now it's 0.85 millimeter is the distance. And as I said before, don't forget to keep the shift key pressed when you are dragging your transpose line to start taking measurements from point to point. Don't forget to keep your shift key pressed to try to make a straight line from point to point. Cesar is saying on YouTube the logo of ZBrush is cover. You measure numbers. I didn't understand you. The logo of ZBrush is cover. You. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know what you are saying. Yeah. I'm gonna show you. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna hide my top ribbon just for a moment. Mm, and you're gonna be able to read it now here. Point to point. You can read it here. 0.846 millimeter. I don't know if I can move this value to anywhere in the interface. And I don't know how to do it. Maybe it's possible to change this little box that should be here when you are reading the units. Maybe you can translate this, maybe using the same process when on the custom interface. No, I need to check it out. So the measurement is also over the spotlight projection button. No, this is another distance. Don't. This is another value. This is the value that you have here. This is the calibration distance. This is a completely different value. So you should not be paying attention to this value. The value is gonna appear here on the top left corner. I'm gonna put my ribbon again. I will consider this to try to find a better place for the ribbon on my future stream. So okay, so the only thing that we can do now is to start. This is gonna be positive. Let's control and use the arrows. I'm gonna start adding another one here. Another one here. Another one here. Another one here. And maybe the latest. I'm gonna turn off my symmetry. I'm gonna grab this one only because in the middle. Maybe this one needs to be a bit taller than the others. Okay. So maybe here we are too close to the open space. We can come back to this tool, grab again this brush, and start fixing this. Maybe it's too close to the border, like this. yeah, I can. Yeah, but I don't like to start thinking at fixing this, and because every time I need to show it, and it should be uh, resizing, adjusting again. We'll try to find a better solution. Okay, let's see. So come back to the symmetry. I'm gonna put it a little bit more here. Maybe I don't like these ones. I made the mask was bad, so like this. Okay, this is going to be enough, I think. Well, I'm gonna use the move infinitive with a topological big brush to try to make some finer adjustments. No, let's come back to the traditional way. Like this. And like this. Let's rotate it. Trying to make them perpendicular to the border. Perpendicular. And I'm gonna use this to make the another one in the middle. Okay. Next time I'm gonna save this. We should use this one as, let me check this to the border. We can go a little bit deeper here. Almost to the border, and let's make a duplicate from this one. Okay, no, before I'm gonna, we already have polygroup, right? Okay, so let's create a new topology. Double, keeping the groups. Let's apply some polishing. And now, where we need to go is to duplicate. And this one is going to be, needs to be negative, and it should be a little bit bigger. Because when you are fitting something inside of anything, this is when you are making a key, for example, we are going to get this. This is going to be this space that we are going to have here. But if we have planned to fit this into this space should be a little bit bigger. A little bit, just to try to have a bit of tolerance between the negative and the positive object. So the thing that we need to go, that's the reason why I made a copy, and I select this, use the gizmo, and uses the control key. I'm gonna I'm gonna press the control key. I'm gonna use the yellow square. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger to make this, and this one should be, I'm gonna select the arrows here, and this one should be on top of this. Okay. And what we can do now is to For do this, there are many ways to do this. I'm gonna use the fast way, maybe with the clip curve brush. I'm gonna clip this. A little bit like this. Yeah. What happened with you? Oh, the line was too short. Yeah, maybe something like this. Let's apply some polishing, polishing. And now we have this is going to be the positive, and this is going to be the negative. Let's save this. We already have the two pieces of the heart. The external part on the backplate. I have to say I have seen it as well, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me that you are here watching considering my work interesting, and you are here watching my stream. I will try to don't let you down. Control yellow square to inflate. Yeah, it's a thing that you can do on CAD. Yeah. In all object, it's yeah. In all object in its own places. Yeah, the way of working of ZBrush is always different. So you know. So I am thinking that I am gonna have a problem, but let's see. Okay, it's time to make the second Boolean. So I'm gonna create the Boolean folder. And we are gonna get two pieces. Why do we have two pieces? Because I set this little arrow here, so ZBrush will consider 1, 2, 3 subtool for one operation. We'll consider only 1, 2 for the second operation. That's the reason why I used this start arrow. So now we have this part, and now we have this part. Now maybe it's time to. It's gonna be enough for printing. So it's time now to start thinking about the wings. Because what I have in mind about the wings, I am noticing that I forgot to take into account the wings for the assembling process. Okay, let's see how to fix it. So what we can do is we need to remove this part. This part should be removed from the wing. So what I have in mind is to try to have something like this on the wing, and to make a soldering point here and here. Maybe it's not going to be too safe, I think. Maybe it's not going to be too safe. What I can do is maybe I need to add more thickness here to this part of the heart. Okay, let's see. So what I can do is to remove this part. I need to cut this. Cut from that line. Maybe I can use one of the hearts we were making before. If I open the heart, maybe I can use this. Let's click the duplicate. Let's put it inside of the wing folder here. Let's hide this for this time, and then make this. And here we have the cut. But the problem is that we are cutting. We are not cutting it straight. We are cutting with this curve. So what we can do is, let's put it here. Let's turn on the transparency. Let's make a mask here and invert the mask. And now extrude this. Let's apply some polishing. And now we have a straight cut there. So let's make the Boolean of the wings. Let's turn off the stones because the stones are only for rendering purposes. Like this, and let's create the Boolean. So click on here, Boolean folder. Is that possible to weld silver to bronze? I haven't got any experience about soldering or welding. I think it's not going to be possible. It's not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So this is the wing. This is the wing with the. Oops. Here I have a small issue on this drill. Let's delete this. And let's try to fix this issue. I can select this, the drills here, and what I can do is to try to put it back a little. And ready. So make the Boolean again. Bronze to silver. Bronze to silver, yeah. Maybe in that case, maybe it's able to do it, but maybe the problem is the union between the silver part and the bronze part, the different colors between the two pieces, to try to get a clean border between both. I don't know. I just asking of the to the expert about. So this is this is the feather. The feather. I'm gonna add a little bit more thickness here. Let's add more material here. I'm gonna use the smooth groups now to keep the clean border. Now my smooth picks to try to get rid of this. Doesn't work, but I'm gonna use I'm gonna hide this part, and I'm gonna use the Sculpting Pro. So what we have now is we have the heart and we have the wing, and now we have a problem. Maybe now let's put this here. Let's put this here, and if we subtract the wing from the heart, what we get is something like this. We have problems here. We have problems because here we are making this. I'm gonna hide this part. No, I'm gonna hide. Yeah, I'm gonna hide this. I don't want to see the backplate. Now we are getting problems here. Okay, let's clean first a little bit this. We are getting problems here. Let's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this because maybe it will be better to get this thinner, like this. I'm gonna make a mask here to try to get a flat surface with the clip curve. Yeah, something like this. Before to do this, let's store more target first. And now I can use the morph brush to try to fade. Oh, why? If I didn't make it well, so more target, store more target, and now I can without the sculptress. The problem was the sculptress. Yeah, store because the Sculptris Pro is not allowed with the more targets. Now, yes. Let's choose the smooth valleys. And now let's see how it looks like now. Should be a little bit. This is the transparency. I'm gonna boost them back without the AQ curve. And this should be a little bit flat, a little bit bigger on the back. I'm start getting some problems here. Okay, so just for checking how it is working. No, it's not working. Nothing. Well, let's delete this one. I'm gonna come back. Now it's time to make the things well. So I'm going to use this. This is the hurt. Should be here. If I delete this now, using the light booleans is the good thing about the light booleans. I'm gonna hide the others. So what we can do is to start fixing this on the original mesh instead of on the Boolean mesh. So one thing that I'm gonna do is this is too white, maybe should be. Don't needs to be so white, so let's make it like this. And now let's fix this. Without the back face. Try to fix this and now try to get the flat surface here. H polish. Yeah, starting looking good. Okay, we are start getting a more realistic thing here. So instead of getting this curve, let's try to make it straight. And 100% flat. Oops. I need more material here in the middle. It's closer to the back. It's closer here, like this. Almost. Almost. Okay, no problem with this. I can smooth this transition. Okay. This is going to be... It's going to be necessary to move this. If I turn on the hurt, it's going to be necessary to move this. A bit, but it's not problem. I'm gonna fix it after, because we have a problem with this key that we have. Maybe we can remove it and no problem. Let's make it this a little bit longer, because as more surface contact we have, we will get a safer union. So instead of fixing this, let's try to make it wider to try to get a more surface to get a safer surface, more safe or safer. So let's go here to try to keep this flat. I don't know why I'm not getting a 100% flat surface here. No, yes, okay. And another important things about the keys, I'm gonna make a mask here. It's about, you can see that now it's grown. You can see here now what we have is something like this. And it should be something like this to be able to fit something inside, because if we have this form, it's not going to be possible to fit anything. So this part should be open here. Should have this shape. Okay. I'm sorry if today I'm answering your questions slowly or not so quickly, because maybe today I'm more concentrated on the process. So I have lost some questions. Maybe that you can brush. Yeah, should be close. Yeah. Color is a problem. Yeah, the color of the union, the transition of both colors. But maybe that's the reason why we are always planifying the welding point or the soldering point on the back part of the design. So we always need to, when you are designing something, you always need to pay attention. If you are thinking about making any assembling, try to put the soldering points always on non-visible parts of the design. All depends on the professional, not used to well. Yeah. Boy, this is pretty cool. I have never seen people modeling jewelry. I'm glad to read that, because that's the reason why I offer to Pixologic to try to make jewelry, ZBrush applied to jewelry streamings, because it's not very common to see it. On quick pavé, I was giving tips about how to make pavés on the previous stream. You will find it on the YouTube or on the Pixologic YouTube channel. The stream from the previous quick, we were making the stone setting on the wicks, but the tips about the pavés, maybe the best that I can give is to have passion. I think to be patient and to make things good. How you made a skull ring for an Italian company called Failuti? No, no, I don't know that company. But the skull rings, there are so many that everyone looks the same. I think very similar, one from the others. Work as wondering if you try nanotooling or something like that for the stones and prongs. Yes, I strongly recommend to you to try to review the previous stream where I was making the stone setting on the wings using the insert brushes and nanomesh. This is a custom. This is my personal process. I was showing to you how it works. So what we can do now here, we can do is I'm gonna create inside of the what we can do is I'm gonna try to add an extra surface, because with this I think it is solved. We can do it. This is going to be enough. On the back side it should be, it's not going to be too thin. No, it's not going to be too thin. It's going to be okay. And I have in mind now is to try to create I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use now the hurt number 2. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this inner part. I'm going to use mask from here to here. I'm gonna book a mask here. Invert the mask. I'm gonna extract an extra piece of thickness there to get a safer contact point. Let's click on extract, accept. I extract. I'm gonna hide, delete hidden, and I'm gonna use this extra piece of material. I'm gonna use this extra piece. I'm gonna put it here. On the welding. Because I'm gonna select this. This is the reason why I have more surface contact here for the welding. So here I'm gonna have, and from the front view it's not gonna be almost noticeable, so it's gonna be almost hide from the rest of the design. So, but it's gonna be useful for the welding, for the soldering process. So let's make a series measure, keeping the groups. Let's some polishing, And here we have an extra. Let's click on mirror and well. Here we have. Maybe we can try to make things clean. I don't like this little bump that it has, so maybe more. Invert the mask and cut the unwanted part. Yes. Okay, let's click on double. Okay, let's save this. And we already have this part, and we also need the one extra thing to put things in place. I mean that when you are assembling something, to trying to don't be able to put the things into the wrong place, or not completely straight, or not completely aligned to the rest of the pieces. I think that what I'm going to do now here, I'm going to add a pin here. I'm going to select the cylinder. I'm going to select a pin of, let's see if I can put a pin of 1.5 millimeter. Let's split the mask points. Let's put the pin here, and this one should be here. Should be underneath this to put things in place. Okay, if I hide the wing, this is going to be maybe 1.5 millimeter. It's gonna be a bit bigger. Let's make it smaller. Maybe we have room till maybe 1 millimeter. I'm not going to try to make it smaller than 1 millimeter. 1.3 and at 1.3. Let's make it smaller. I think put it almost in the border like this. It's not, you can't see it from the front. Maybe we can put it a little bit more here. It's not visible from the front. Okay, so we are going to use this as a pin, as a safe, or make a safer union between the wings and the heart. So this is going to be a male, and let's turn on everything now. I'm gonna turn this on, turn this on, turn this on, turn this on, and that's it. And what we can do is to remove this part. We still need to remove this part. I want to get rid of this, so I can use this, but not with everything, of course. We need to separate it with the start arrows. You can see now the differences. The arrows, the start arrows, is like making groups, making Boolean groups. That's the right way of. And I still need to, well, instead of use a Boolean, let's use this clip brush to clip this. Pop, a little bit more. Pop. That's it. Let's make it. I'm not using the symmetry here. Doesn't matter. Mirror well. Mirror well. No, so we have the right thing here. So this is gonna be, and again, we need to make a copy of the wing. Let's make a duplicate, because maybe it's not going to be. Why do I have this floating cylinder? So, okay, no problem. Let's put in a mask, invert the mask, hide polygons, delete hidden. So it's gone. So I'm gonna only going to use only this portion of the wing. Hide polygons, delete hidden, close holes. Okay, and now I'm gonna use this part to make the the necessary space. So with the control key as before, control key, and now we have this part. And I think that the wing is not going to be necessary to be completely flat here, because here looks like it's very thin. If I hide this, I can make it manually. So I can grab this wing and I can, with the H polish, I still have here again the floating cylinder, invert, hide, delete. We can make this, even try to make some sculpting detail on the back like this, for example. Some kind of texture. Maybe with this brush. The back face is not going to be visible, but we can put some time of adding some detail. And now with the clip curve, I can make it with a bit of angle. I can cut this. And now I can. Okay, now we have a problem with this, because this the hurt is cutting the wing exactly here and not here, so this should be a little bit smaller. So using this tool, I can put it here. And the pin we made doesn't work. Okay. The pin we made doesn't work, so it's not going to be useful. Maybe instead of a pin, maybe it will be better to put a block. The pin wasn't a good idea, so let's hide it. No. What is the pin? What is the pin? The pin is here. So instead of this, maybe we can use another method. Man, yeah, make it the brush too big. Like this. Okay, let's save this. How long I have been making jewelry? From now, baby, for 6 years, around 6 years. And how I get into it? Because it was by coincidence. I made a figure for 3D printing, and a friend of mine. I show it to a friend of mine, and he told me that he was talking with a jewelry workshop that was interested on he wasn't an illustrator, right? So the jewelry workshop was interested on creating jewelry pieces, jewels based on his illustration work. And also he was looking for people who knows to making CAD modeling or digital sculpting maybe, and I was talking with them with the jewelry workshop, and that was my first contact with the jewelry industry. And from there, it was, as I said, 6 years ago till now, because I found that the jewelry uh, designing processes and the jewelry manufacturing processes, and it's amazing. I love to. I found it very interesting to learn and to work for jewelers. So from them, I was starting to work for jewelers, to start getting commissions and orders related to organic designs, starting making flowers, animals, and many different things till now. So, which I am working for many different jewelers all around the world, to making many different things. You was 18 when I started as an apprentice, yeah. Because I also had to say that I'm not a jeweler, so I come from the from illustration. So before starting learning ZBrush, I was making illustrations with traditional media with pencils, acrylics, and then I was making eye brushing for many times, eye brushing t-shirts, helmets, and walls, and many different things, till I discovered ZBrush. So I starting. That's the point when I starting using 3D software till now. That it is my professional career. So here we are. Maybe we can. I have this custom brush made by myself. This is a key where I have this. I use this brush for mostly for figures. For figures that maybe it could be useful here. I'm gonna make it to try to make a key instead of a cylinder. We can. Where are you? Here. Maybe we can try to make this. To try to do this. What happens with the. Okay, so I can use the bend arc to start bending it a little bit to adapt it to the curve. Like this. And maybe with this we can have we were looking for. No, the wing starts from here. Okay, this is the wing. Where is my wing? I lost it. Okay, this is the heart. I'm gonna save this because I'm not sure that something is strange is happening. The wing is still there, but I can't see it. Why? I can turn this off. Oh, here it is. Okay, maybe we can get rid of, we can delete the pin. And what we can do is this is gonna be too thin. I'm going to finish this using the brush this to start getting more something like this. Because from the front view, it's not, you are not gonna be able to see it. So like this. Okay, the only special thing that has this brush, my custom brush, is that it is already have two pieces. If I click on split two parts, I have one and two. You can see one is bigger than the other. That means that this is the positive and this is the negative. So this should be here with the negative icon. So we have here. We have the necessary room for, and there you go. Let's save it again. I started in 72 of the last century. you started many years ago, Tony. Yeah. I was born in the 73, so when you started, I was one. Thanks a lot. So yeah, this the workflow maybe is looking a bit messy because I am always touching many different things, changing the tool, making Boolean, adjusting the tools. But because it's, but I think I hope that it is looking interesting enough. So it's time to create the Boolean now. So let's hide the stones because as you can see here, I was making the stone settings on the previous stream. So I'm gonna hide the stones, and I'm gonna create the Boolean Boolean folder. This is a very useful way to work with Booleans. The feature that you have inside of the folder icon where you can make the booleans by parts. When you are making assemblings, it's gonna be, this is going to be this one. I can make now the mirror and well. When you are getting this, that ZBrush is copying the wrong size, you need to mirror it and mirror and well now. So this is the wing. This is one wing. I think. Let's check the thickness. Well, this is here, half of a millimeter here. Here we are in the danger zone. Maybe we can. Maybe we can extrude it a little bit. Let's see if it works. No, doesn't work because this is due to the different topologies. So, bad try. So I need to. This is not possible to use. So I need to come back again to the. And what I can do is come back to the original. Oh yeah, because I forgot to turn this off. Yeah, you was the problem. So I can now make the Boolean again. More about the cutter brush. What do you mean about the cutter? What about the brush for make the cutters for the stones, right? Okay, now it's good. So this is one wing. Maybe we can duplicate it. We can make the mirror. We have the other wing. And we have a problem now with the backplate. Yes, because we should. I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna come back to the right folder. Gonna close this. This is the number 2, and I'm going to grab this one. I'm gonna remove this one. Hide, delete hidden. The same here. Hide, delete hidden. And now I can make the bullet again. Okay. I'm watching here. No, this is the backplate. Oh, yeah. I need to turn this off. Okay. Let's see if it works. Let's see now. Let's give it a try. And this is what we get. This is one wing, another wing. We have a problem there with the wings. Okay, maybe we can adapt this afterward, one on the physical piece. When you need to, you can see here, it's gonna be necessary to remove this tiny little part here. Only this part. Maybe we can leave it as it is, because it's gonna be it's gonna be good to keep this space for printing and for casting. And on the final piece, on the physical piece, the jeweler can adjust this part to the back cover. Maybe it's not a big issue. Maybe can be fixed. Okay, let's save this. Okay. More about the cutter brush, the last one. Encaje. Ah, yeah. In this one, this brush. This is one. I think today is not gonna be. It's not going to be enough time for. I'm noticing that could be a good idea to match the external key with the internal. Yeah. Maybe let's try if it is possible to fix. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe we can use the back face mask to add a bit of more thicknesses here and there. And I think it's gonna be enough. Yeah, I think like this looks better. Okay. And yeah, you were asking about it's not going to be enough time for the torch. Okay, doesn't matter, because for the torch, the idea I have is to make this the upper part on a different metal, so in gold, only for this part, for the flame. But the process is going to be the same, to start making Boolean between each part. So there are not too much new things to show here, because it's almost the time for finishing. So I don't like this shape. Let's try to fix it. Try to make it round. Yeah. think the it's gonna be consistent enough, not too delicate. Okay, so let's talk about the this brush. What I do with this brush, because I'm gonna try to make a one. For example, I'm gonna try to make a quick example about this. So if I go to the torch, for example, we have this part, this part, and I'm gonna hide the rest. If I turn this on, I'm gonna turn this off. So okay, okay, what we can do? Well, instead of this, I'm gonna insert a cube here in the middle. Cube. Where are you? Here. Here, and let's make it bigger, like this. I'm gonna use the cube for cut out this part of the flame, so the flame is gonna be more something like this. So like this, and this is going to be this. So I'm gonna use this brush, the same. Encaje means this is the key. It's a key of male and female keys. So what I have is, you can see here, you insert this. It's a kind of tapered cube. So we need to go back, squeeze it a little bit, maybe make it wider, like this. And where you have two pieces, you have the external piece, the external cube, you can see the wall here, and you have another one inside that it has an offset from the outside. So the key about this is that you are placing both into the same position. So you are not going to have problems when you try to fit one piece into the other piece. So let's come back here. And now what you can do now is to split mask points. They are still into the same subtool. Another extra step to take is split two parts. So now we have one here. This is the smaller, and this is the bigger. The bigger is going to be the negative. This one is gonna subtract here. Gonna click the arrow here and click the arrow here. For example, like this. And when you are creating the booleans, now, if you click for booleans, let's click now make the boolean folder. You're gonna have two pieces. One of the result of this 1, 2, 3 subtool, the first 3 subtools, and the others. So, and here we have the negative space, and here we have the positive key, the male and the female. And here you can see that one fits into the other. But here the problem, this is the process about a figure, about the when you are working with resins. But when you are making jewelry, as I said before, you should be thinking about the welding points. So maybe in this case, instead of this, delete, maybe could be a better idea. I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna delete this one. Should be more something like this. I'm gonna insert the cylinder. Insert a cylinder. This cylinder is here. Let's pull it up. This is the cylinder. What is the okay cylinder? Let's go here. So I'm gonna make this. Will be better to make a pin. Don't make it too big, because if you have in mind to cast this in gold, as less material you use, will be cheaper. So it hasn't sense to make a pin of 2 millimeters. Maybe let's make it smaller. 1.5 millimeter, smaller, something like this, or even smaller. We can go to the scale master, and now it's 1.3. Let's make a 1.8 millimeter. This is a 0.8 millimeter pin. Whoops. Like this. And I'm gonna make it this a little bit bigger. Like this. And what I'm gonna do is, for example, this. This should be, of course, hollow inside. It's not hollow yet. I can make a fast hollowing. For example, let's make a duplicate. Let's make it smaller. Let's make it bigger like this. And this is going to be like this. Something fast just to show you. But the reason this is a little bit better, more something like this, to have a pin where you can put the gold piece into the other one and put the soldering point from the inside of the visual or the visible part. So with this process, the soldering point is not going to be visible. So, but with the other process, you have to add maybe a soldering point, maybe 1, 2, 3, and 4 there, and they are going to be visible. But if you use this process, the soldering point is going to be invisible. That's the idea. Uh, hmm. You are asking for the actual size of the finished piece is. We can take a rough measurement from this point to. I use this bottom line as a reference to this point. Is around 33 millimeters. Maybe could be, yeah, around 34 millimeter high. We can take a caliper here. It's going to be more or less something like this. 34 millimeters. Around something like this. Here we have 2 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters, and 1 millimeter stones sizes. And this is going to be the torch. The torch needs to be flat on the back. I need an extra cube, duplicate. Of course, the torch, as it is going to be a gold. We have in mind to cast this in gold. This little piece is going to be a tiny piece compared, because this is going to be only around 77 millimeters, 7.7 millimeter, maybe almost 8 millimeter high piece. But you can make it hollow inside. Will be much better if you want to save cost for of the metal. Maybe I can use the brush. Where are you? Here. This is the main brush. Okay, the main heart. I'm sorry. I can use this as a negative to cut out this part. Of course, needs to be mask pen. Mask pen. So maybe this is going to be difficult to weld this. Because it's going to be more or less, yeah, something like this. It's going to be a quite tiny part. Maybe in this case, we'll do better to make it not solid, because maybe hollow inside. I'm talking about this piece, only this part. Maybe it's going to be a good idea to make it hollow inside, but with a cover on the back. But this is going to be the main. We still need to find a way to assembling this part into the heart. We can think about it. It's not a big issue, I think. Okay, I'm gonna. How much to inflate? Yeah, how much to inflate the male key to subtract? Well, that will depend on your. You need to consider different things. You need to consider the printer that you are going to use, the precision of the printer, if you are going to cast it in resin or in metal, depending on the shrinking percentage that you can have. Or maybe we can say you can stay in half of a millimeter. Maybe it's going to be enough. Maybe 0.6 millimeter. The differences between the external and internal key. But this is not going to be a mathematical rule, because depending on if you are making a key like this, it's not going to be the same like making a key like this. So in conclusion, we can say that one bigger than the other. How much should be bigger? A little bit. So because it's not going to be possible in most of the cases to control an exact offset between the external and internal key, because depending on the size of the key. So the idea is you should have a space between one and the other. You need this air inside in the middle. So that's the reason why you make it one bigger than the other. It's gonna be enough, because once you have the physical piece, you can retouch the male part. So, for example, if you find it is difficult to fit one part inside of the other, you can start sanding this part and start to making this part a little bit smaller till fitting both together. So it's not a big issue to try to know which is the exact value or the exact number. What printer can make this size? Any idea? Yeah. When I use most of my jewelry design are printed on a SolidScape or on a project 2500. You can gonna SolidScape. Those are wax printers. Let's make it this one bigger. Let's try to find a picture of. This is the SolidScape printer. This is a wax. They are wax injection printers, and the other one is the Project W from 3D Systems. This one is much bigger than the other. This is almost massive for massive production, where you have this is a injection. Yes, you can wax injection system. This is a huge machine, but very precise. And even on a Formlabs, Form 2, the new Form 2 from Formlabs or a Solus through the printer, or maybe many different printers that you can find now on the market, resin printers, they are going to be able to print to and to cast the details that you have now on the surface. How do I make sure my model is ready for print? Okay, the only thing that you need to know, for example, in this part, the most complex thing, for example, they are the wings. This is gonna be the wing. So the only need to know is that this is a watertight mesh. The steps that I take to check out that everything is well, if I do is go to polygroups, group auto groups. So that means that you are watching the external shell, the external surface. For example, you here are watching the external surface. This is the form that you are watching on the screen. But maybe you can find little shells inside of the main volume. This is due to the Boolean operations. That's the reason why I made this. This is auto groups. So ZBrush recognize each single piece of geometry. If there are any inside, you can do this. Select rectangle, Control Shift and key, and click. If you invert and ZBrush doesn't make anything, that means that you only have one mesh. You also can do this. You can go here. You tell to ZBrush splitting this into as many parts as it is composed. You can split into parts, and if ZBrush is telling to you that the mesh is not composed of multiple parts, this is good because you are only working with one subtool. So now this should be ready for printing. So I'm gonna decimate it. For example, 75,000 case. I always have to sand that area down for the pieces to fit. Yeah, this is because when you are thinking about adding a space between two parts, for mostly on the liquid resin printers, it's quite difficult to keep the space exactly with that area. So always you need to sand it the positive mesh. Yeah, that is normal. Solus Pro Classic DLP, yes, it's a very good printer to high quality detail designs. You are asking, as a ZBrush user who wants to start making jewelry for companies like you, how do you know when you are ready to start to design offering to design jewelry for different companies? I don't know. Yeah, I think that the answer, I can give you that answer. Maybe the client is going to give you that answer, because the first step to take is to start showing your work. If your potential clients is reaching you, is going to ask to you to create a commission just for your first commission, the client is going to answer you if you have made a good work or not, or you're still to improve things. But if you still to improve things is not a bad thing. You need to take it as a part of the learning process. I'm not a jeweler, so if I'm working with a jeweler, as each single jeweler has its own way to do the things, or most of them. So if I to do anything, I don't know who to make it. So the best thing to know it is ask it to him and start learning at the same time that you are asking. So it's a learning process. But if your work speaks by itself, that means it is good. So you're gonna have clients. I think so. Those 3D printers support ZBrush, or you have to export this project? No. Uh, each printer has its own software, so you need to export it from ZBrush in a STL format. So then you should import it back inside of this the control software of the printer to be able to print the piece in the printer. I always recommend, you are talking about jewelry designs, always I recommend to use resin printers. I think the filament printers, they are not able to make jewelry pieces, or as far as I know, or at least small pieces. You need to looking for a 3D printer of resin 3D printer. No, the filament or is not good. It's not a good idea for making jewelry. Okay, depend on the kind of jewelry that you want to create. If you're gonna bake very big pieces that you consider that they are going to be jewelry, they are going to be able to be wear. So maybe you can use a filament printer. Yeah, just the slicer program. Yeah, it's in the slicer program. Normally, each of the printer that I've shown has its own slicer program. So okay, once we have the system here decimated, what I recommend to you, I'm gonna export it. You can check the mesh inside of ZBrush as well. You can go here inside of geometry menu. You can go to mesh integrity, and you can check the mesh. If the ZBrush is not giving to you any issues, it's fine. But it's giving to you some issues. You can fix the mesh here, and it's done. So now you can go to export. Maybe let's go to. I used to export in OBJ format for the first time. So let's gonna connect the wing here, OBJ, and what you can do is to use, for example, netfab. Is it is a mesh repair software. You can download a free version, and you can import this here and checking. Now it's okay. So you can fix it if necessary. Clicking here, this red cross, repair, execute, apply repair, remove, and now it's ready for printing. This is a NetFat Basic. It's a free software. You can download it from the NetFat website to make a fast and quick mesh checking before send the file for printing. Okay. Maybe I'm reviewing your questions. File. I lost any. Yeah, maybe I'll send it to forecasting. I don't know. What printer can make this? Maybe all I sent it. Looks. Maybe yeah. Maybe I answered all the questions. Yeah, NetFat from Autodesk. NetFat Basic. Maybe it is called NetFat Pro or NetFat Advanced, where you can make many more things. But this, you are just worried about mesh checking. The basic, it's good enough. Also, you can check you can fix the meshes with the mesh mixer as well. Maybe you are able to check the meshes. But if you have followed a clean workflow or organized workflow, you are not going to have a lot of problems with the files. Yeah, the IJ is asking, yeah, after is printing, we are gonna print one. It's gonna be necessary to print. You can see piece number 1, piece number 2, piece number 3. Here you have the back part is gonna be the piece number 4. This is gonna be the piece number 5, and this is going to be the piece number 6. They are going to be printed as an individual pieces. They're going to be casted as an individual pieces, and then one casted, they needs to be welded or with together to get the whole piece. Oh, I forgot to mention the loop for the chain, because what I have in mind is the chain is gonna hold this here. So here you're gonna have the chain here, or the cord, or whatever you want to put. So that's the reason why here you have this little bending here. That's the reason why this is not straight. This has a little bending here, because here I'm gonna add the little loop here on the back. Maybe here. Here I'm gonna put a loop here. If we put it, we watch it here on perspective. I'm gonna put a little loop here within a small cavity here. So where you can put here your chain here. So from the front, it's gonna be invisible. So you are not going to see the loop from the front. So it's gonna be hide behind the wings. So after it's printed, they need to solder it, or it will just fit and be stable. What do you mean about the stable, or it will just fit and be stable? No, when we are talking about jewelry, always you need to solder or you need to weld things together. In some cases, you can use non, I don't know how to call it. There's a non-welding necessary fittings, but when you are looking for some movement between each part, but maybe in 95% of the cases, it's going to be necessary to weld things together. Most of the time, you can use a laser welding machine, or you can use you can weld them depending on the area or depending on how delicate the pieces are or how small the things are. You can use a laser machine, or you can weld them by hand with fire. But I don't know how to call the tool in English. With a soldering tool, I don't know. Okay, so maybe we are done for today. I have in mind to start thinking about the next design. I'm gonna grab this out. I will put a little bit more time to prepare it for the rendering. Maybe I'm still gonna need to show the final piece. I still need to work a bit here on the assembling process of this part, and to make a good, cool render to post on my social media. And on the next stream, I'm gonna think about a new thing, another design. Maybe I have in mind maybe a relief, to talk about relief, how to sculpt reliefs, or maybe a ring. And let's see, I don't know. At the moment, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on my future, on my next stream. And it is going to be in September. In September, I'm gonna come back with a new design and with a new ZBrush Live. So thank you very much to all of you. How do I make change in ZBrush? Depending on if you are thinking about make change for printing or for rendering, maybe we can talk about this on the future stream. On my future relief, yeah, yes, Cesar, you are agree about talking about reliefs. Yeah, maybe I was thinking about a kind of relief for a coin or for a medal. I'm still have to find a cool design to make. Again, thank you very much to all of you for watching here my stream. If you go to the Pixologic website again, you can go to the Pixologic website. You can go to To the community section, you can go to ZBrush Live. Come on. Now, if you go to presenters section, just scroll down here till the bottom of the page. Here you will find where I am. I'm not here where I was here before. Maybe it was. Oh, here I am. Now I am 1, 2, 3, 4 arrows above. Okay. I think that this means something good. So if you click on here my face or on my name, here you will have all my links to my social media pages: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Behance. Always I forget this name. So it's just DeviantArt, my Pinterest, and my YouTube channel. If you are looking for me into ArtStation, you can go to my artstation.com/my name, Nacho Riesco. Here you will find my work into ArtStation. So you can send me a message, or you can leave your comment here on the video comments below. Of course, if you like the video, click on like and subscribe to stay tuned for my future streams. Also, you can set up a reminder here inside of my profile page. Maybe you can set up reminders here to know when is going to be my next. And also here you have a collection of my previous streams. Today's streams is my third one. So here you can grab you can reach me with through many different ways. So take a look. The measurement shows over the spotlight. You're talking about this? Intraterrestre. You are talking about this? Are you talking about this part? I'm still not sure. Let's see. I think the next stream is gonna be. I don't want to. Today, next stream is at 12. Yeah, I need to shut down. So, are you asking about this? Calibration distance? Yes and no. Yes and no, yeah. You can see 10.70. Yeah, you can see the same value here. You are watching the same value, but the purpose of this slider is completely different than the purpose of taking measurements. Okay, you can read the value here, same like here. But the way of checking the measurement is here. When you are reading millimeters here, something millimeters. The calibration distance is to set up a different thing. But okay, you want to read the value here, so you can read it here. But the purpose of this slider is completely different purpose. Or I don't know if I am saying well, purpose or completely different aspect, or okay, let's say thing, and that's it. Okay. Okay, so again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comments on the comment sections below, and hope to see you on my next stream. I tell you, in September, I will come back with new things and with new techniques and new UL stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, and bye to everyone.